Alrighty. What's good, everyone joining up the YouTube stream right now? I'm loading up TikTok right now, and I'm getting everything set up for the stream. I actually started the stream here on YouTube a bit early, so I need to quick do it here on TikTok. There we go. There we go. I've gone live on TikTok as well. Now let me let people on Instagram know that I'm live and fully set up the debate, the stream for today. What's up, everyone joining in? How's everybody doing this lovely morning? Or not morning, lovely night. Jesus Christ. It's not even nighttime. It's 3:50. What's going on with my brain right now? Jeez. Come on, Parker. What are you doing? Alrighty, I'm letting the Instagram chat know I'm live. What's good, everyone joining in? Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria that I'm going to be putting on the TikTok screen here in a second. Do give it a second for people to join up. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? There we are, there we are. Let's turn that on. How's everybody doing? Everyone's going to be joining in from Dean's live in a second. Dean just said he was going to get off here. What's up, everyone joining in? What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Okay, I have not fully set up everything yet. I got to set everything up on YouTube. Give me 1 second. How's everybody doing? He just sent us over. Nice, nice, nice. What's up, everyone joining in from Dean's stream? What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? We're going to get the debates going here in a second. I'm fully setting it up right now. Just here on YouTube real quick, and then we're going to add someone up here for debates. I've already put the set of criteria on the screen, so you can send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. Jay, thank you for the $5 for the Parker Colt for life. I know, right? W's for the Parker Colt. W's for the Parker Colt. Alrighty, everyone joining in. We're going to start the debates up here in a second. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed here on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Alrighty. Let's get the first person up here. It's been about 2 minutes. That's typically when I bring people up. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
How old are you?
I'm 22.
What's your birth year?
02. I turned 23 next month.
Oh, wait. Did they say 22? I thought they said 20. You can send a guest request back. I'm sorry. I thought they said 20 and not 22. Bro, what is going on with my brain right now? What is going on? Yeah, I'm a little bit, maybe a little too interested. Elevated. Yo, what's up, Bodily?
Wow. Hey, Parker. Dude, I was waiting for like an hour and a half to debate Dean, and then I got you within like the first 3 minutes of the stream. That's crazy.
Yeah, how old are you?
I was originally going to debate Dean on this. I'm 18. I
What's your birth
turned
year?
18, 2007.
Okay, what month?
July 31st.
Okay, if you could
Well,
go
that's
back
the
in time,
day.
you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I'd vote for Donald Trump.
Okay, why so?
I think there's plenty of reasons you can give for that. I did want to tackle a different point, but I will answer it really quick. Kamala didn't necessarily win a primary. I know it was legal, but I don't think they had a say in that. And I don't think Kamala was the best candidate for the Democratic Party. So because of that, I would have voted Trump. And that's pretty much why.
Okay, there's a few things here. We did actually vote for Kamala Harris because we voted for the Biden-Harris ticket. And if the president steps down from that ticket, the vice president steps up on that ticket. 80% of the Democratic Party was satisfied with her being the nominee, right? So regardless of whether or not you thought she was the preferable candidate from the Democratic side, she was the one supported by the Democratic Party.
Okay,
Right?
that's
She
fair.
had legitimate basis in that. And if you actually care about democracy, well, then you probably wouldn't support a guy who incited a violent insurrection at the Capitol, who pardoned violent rioters, who beat police officers and called them patriots, who still to this day denies the results of the 2020 election, right, with absolutely no evidence. Called
I
for
will
the
say
termination
this.
of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, and couldn't specifically rule out going and being president for a third term.
I will say this. I am right-wing. That's partially why I would vote for Trump, not necessarily because I endorse him as a candidate. I don't think he's the best candidate, but I would support him more than I would support left-wing candidates. I think Trump is morally corrupt. I don't think he's the best candidate. I think the cult-like following and the radicalization doesn't make him a good candidate. I think a true candidate needs to be bringing both the right and the left together, and I don't think Trump does that. I think he divides more than he unites.
Okay, so then what specifically is better on behalf of Trump comparative to Kamala Harris? Because it sounds like Kamala Harris would be more of a candidate that would unite the country comparative to Donald Trump.
I don't think so.
You think that Kamala Harris would divide the country more than Donald Trump?
I think the left divides a lot. I really can I can
Can you
I
can
I,
you
I have
explain
a
how?
point.
Can you be specific with how? And thank you everyone for joining in from Dean's stream. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. I appreciate everyone joining in. Thank you so much.
Uh, no, I really do want to. I want to address something. I don't. That was not the angle I wanted to take. You kind of heard it yourself. I didn't necessarily support Trump as a Republican. I supported the fact that he was Republican, but I don't think he was the best candidate. So I've told you that. Can I ask you something? Okay.
Yeah, sure. It sounds like
I
you don't really care to engage in the conversation. Go for it.
I think that rhetoric on both sides. You don't endorse Fuentes, of course. That's obvious. I think Fuentes divides as well. But I do think when you perpetuate the idea that Republicans are unintelligent, or that if you're a Republican, you're a bad person, that doesn't do good for the spirit of debating, and it doesn't actually help. So, do you condemn that idea, or do you support that? Do you think that if you're a right wing, you're a bad person? And I'm going to acknowledge that that behavior exists on the left as well. So I'm not going to say it doesn't exist on the left, and the right also does it. So it's a problem.
There's a lot of bad people on the right, but I don't think everyone who comes up on the live is a bad person. A lot of people are just ill-informed and misinformed.
So you're telling me right now that being right wing doesn't necessarily mean that you're bad. It means that there's more depth when it comes to analyzing someone's
Yeah,
moral.
there's a lot of misinformation that's prevalent because of people like Donald Trump and people who perpetuate that evil ideology. And they utilize hate, right? So oftentimes people will be very hateful. But yeah, there are a lot of people who are misinformed.
So you can acknowledge. I mean, I feel like you contribute to it on the left, but I mean, I'm going to be respectful. You're giving me a platform to speak, so I don't know. I think there is a level of decorum you have when you have to address people. I mean, I've heard from a lot of people that you just, I mean, especially when you look at your thumbnails, it's like, oh, owning racist MAGA. It's like, all right, well, how is that really uniting people?
So I just want to let you know. So certain titles about like a certain thing getting destroyed in terms of an argument, that's a description of a video to like get people to click on a video so that people can engage with the content, right? When you engage with the content, right, what happens within the content, right? There's a productive dialogue in a lot of circumstances, and circumstances in which there's not a productive dialogue, right? It is the case that that captures the particular extraordinarily extreme beliefs that exist on behalf of the Trump supporters in those contexts. So there is a point of distancing us from, right, like divisive ideology that is incredibly important, and utilizing that type of mechanism of being able to like send out more in the algorithm is a pretty important way of like actually like getting those conversations out there. That's just the nature of the algorithm for like debate style content.
Yeah, well, I honestly I gained a lot of respect when you said that you condemned that idea, because I didn't think you did. So I mean, I'm glad you did.
Well, Donald
Because,
Trump is
I
the
mean,
one that's divisive. That's what I'm saying. I think he's the one that's divisive. I think that ultimately we can become more unified if we let down a lot of the hate. I think hate is what's divisive towards us, and of course we're going to respond to hateful ideology because we don't want people to be hateful. But it doesn't make us divisive to respond to that hateful ideology, right?
So okay, I noticed yesterday with Kirk, I remember you had made a joke, and I think about your neck hurting. So
What?
do you believe in? Yeah, I remember that. I tuned into the last stream, and I don't remember which viewer, but he brought up Kirk.
No,
and then he said something about your neck
someone
hurting.
pivoted. Someone pivoted. Like
So,
my
but
neck
you- but
hurts
you
from
just-
someone pivoting. I didn't make a joke about that. I wouldn't joke about that.
I don't know, man. Okay, I'll
What
anyway.
is this crazy? Of course, I didn't intentionally joke about that. That's crazy.
Okay,
I was 30 to 40 feet away when that happened. Why would you bring that up?
because there's that's way too on the nose.
What are you talking about?
So someone brings up Kirk, and then right as you bring up Kirk, you say, "Oh, my neck hurts. My neck hurts."
I don't think that's specifically the connotation of what happened. I would love for you to find a clip of that. That's ridiculous.
I mean, all right, if you're standing on that, then it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd bring that up in that way, especially given what I've been through when it relates to that. So,
Okay, well, if that's not what happened, then I'm sorry.
okay. All right. So, do you want to tell me why you
Uh,
support Trump?
I support Trump because I'm a Christian, and Christianity aligns more with the right wing. I don't think Trump represents Christian values, but the right definitely supports Christianity more than the left. Do I
Awesome.
think that they have been? Do I think there have been Christians that say, or figures that are political that say that they're Christian? They don't speak for all of us. There's definitely some bad examples. Trump is not Christian. But right-wing ideology
So, okay.
aligns
So,
more.
why would you support someone who's not a Christian over someone who is Christian? Kamala
Because-
Harris is Christian.
because what Kamala supports as a
Kamala.
left candidate does not actually align with Christian ideology.
Like, how does Donald Trump's positions in terms of policy align more with Christianity?
Because because okay, first off, Kamala's
Kamala. You could just say VP Harris.
thank you. VP Harris is positions on the LGBTQ, for example. So once that's also an example of
What specific policy?
she's pro LGBTQ.
Is that bad? What specific policy do you disagree with?
That policy,
What specific policy?
I don't know any.
You don't know any policies, so then you just what do you disagree with, dude?
I think left-wing ideology does not align with Christianity, which is why I voted. I would have voted
No.
for Trump.
You said the LGBTQ plus community. What specifically? Like, that sounds like to me that it's become like a buzzword to you, right? There's no actual like substance in terms of policy that you disagree with us on, right? That you could point to. It's just you specifically disagree with like what, gay people?
Yes,
Why?
because I'm a Christian and it's against the Bible. It's sinful.
What? Okay, so what's sinful specifically? It's not sinful to be gay. Under your perspective, is it sinful to engage in gay intercourse?
Yes.
So it's not sinful to be gay, okay? And also
It's
then your
sinful to be gay.
prescription
It's
from
sinful
your
to have
same
a-
from
it's
your
sinful
same
to have a
standpoint,
gay-
it's also sinful to engage in sex before marriage, correct?
Yes.
So why do you view specifically people engaging in gay intercourse any differently than you view, like, say, like people engaging in like premarital sex in any context?
Because being gay is a lifestyle. If you lead a lifestyle of
What do you mean a
premarital sex,
lifestyle?
you can live your whole life being gay.
Is having sex before marriage a lifestyle?
It's more so an action. But if you live a lifestyle of premarital sex,
Okay, wait.
that's
So
also
why
gay.
is one an action and the other a lifestyle?
Because being gay, you're not in a premarital sex relationship. That's kind of silly to say.
What?
Premarital
What?
sex relationship? No, being gay is a relationship.
No, you're engaging in premarital sex in that circumstance. That's what you
Yes.
consider wrong. There's nothing in the Bible that says it's wrong to be in a relationship. Like two gay men in a relationship, right? As long as they, under your view, didn't engage in intercourse, they wouldn't be doing anything wrong, right?
No, it'd still be wrong.
What's wrong with that?
Because it's biblical for a man and female to be equally yoked. It doesn't say man and man.
Wait, but if they're not engaging in intercourse, what's specifically wrong with that, under your view?
Because
There's nothing condemning marriage between two people, correct?
Repeat that?
There's nothing condemning specifically marriage between two men, right? Absolutely nothing. In the
Oh
Bible.
man, I'm getting called gay in comments. That's crazy.
Wait, can you explain to me what aspect of the Bible, right, says that marriage between two men specifically is wrong?
Obviously, the Leviticus one. We all know that one. But that's
that
kinda
doesn't talk
dated.
about marriage at all. That's nothing to do with marriage. What specifically condemns two men getting married, right?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't necessarily say that, but it says man and female equally yoked. It doesn't necessarily have to say it, but it's saying that man and female are yoked. That's by design. So just because it doesn't mention it doesn't mean that it's fine.
Okay, wait. Okay, but there's no reason to say that it's wrong if it doesn't mention it, right? If Jesus
Well,
never
yeah,
talked about it being wrong.
Well, the
Then
stuff in the Bible is not suggestions. It's not like it's saying
And
man
also,
and
by the
female.
way, okay, well, also, have you read other verses in Leviticus, like the ones that specifically condone slavery? Like in
I said,
Leviticus 25,
yeah, no,
44
yeah.
through 46. Like, I don't think you'd ever cite that as like some sort of moral law that you're going to abide by.
Well, yeah,
But
no.
seemingly, whenever we talk about the LGBTQ plus community, Christians feel the need to revert back to like, oh yes, I'm going to bring up Leviticus.
Well, okay. I said Leviticus was dated. I don't know if you heard me on that. I'm pretty sure being equally yoked is a New Testament ideology. So first off, even if we want to go to Leviticus, Jesus abolished the Old Testament. That's a fact.
Okay, then why'd you bring it up?
I said it was dated, so I didn't actually. That's not what I was.
So then what? Okay, so is there anything you could bring up specifically that would justify your obvious hate for the LGBTQ community?
Because it says in the Bible that man and female are to be equally yoked. And that's a New Testament ideology.
What is that supposed to mean?
Meaning in marriage.
Wait, okay. Can you give me the verse that you're referencing?
Hold on, I'll pull it up. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Give him a
2
second.
Corinthians 6:14.
What is it?
Be not equally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion hath light with darkness?
You said 2 Corinthians what?
6:14.
6:14. Okay. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers.
Hold on, that might have been
Okay,
wrong.
that has to do with atheists. That's like, you think that you can't get
Yeah.
married to atheists?
Well, unbeliever, if you're gay, you're not following God.
Wait. Yes, wait. I'm sorry. There are lots of gay people that follow Christ. What are you talking about? You think there are
Yeah, but
no people who are gay that follow Christ? That's ridiculous. I'm
yeah, but
sorry.
that's a sin.
I'm sorry.
That's a sin they're working
Okay,
through.
wait. So you're saying Christians don't sin?
Of course they do.
What? So then, what is your position as to why gay people can't be Christian? If it is the case that you
I didn't
just
say
said that
that.
because they're engaging in sin, everyone sins under your view, right?
Yes, but if you're being
So
gay,
then
and you're
why
not
is that
willing to
only?
repent and
Why are you
change-
saying only gay people can't be Christian just because they sin? When you're saying that you specifically are still a Christian even though you sin.
Being gay, yes, is sinful, and you can be gay and be a Christian. I'm sorry if I
No,
misspoke.
it's not sinful to be gay under your worldview. You can only point to under your view gay intercourse being sinful. But again, that's I think it's just obviously ridiculous to take that prescription from the Bible. I don't think that you're going to accept that. There's not much talked about in terms of gay intercourse being wrong in the context of the Bible. And if it is the case that you're going to accept that from those particular prescriptions in the context of the Bible, right? I would just say like, well, then you have to accept every single prescription from the Bible. Otherwise, you're going to have to then hold on to the standard that you can cherry pick some. Then you could just ask specifically why you would pick this one to care about, and you'd have to give a reason.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm sorry. I haven't done enough research on the gay. Being gay is 100%.
But then why'd you use it as a reason to say that the Democrats are advocating for worse off policies? Like, what is the policy difference? Is there anything different about the parties that you can point to that this would have been relevant for, or is it just like some psyop that you've been fucking like brainwashed to believe in?
So being gay was also. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't argued it the best. I'm sorry, but abortion is also something that is against my belief as a Christian.
Okay. Do you believe in separation of? How about we go to this? Do you believe in separation of church and state?
Yes.
Okay. Then why would you say that a religious reason would be a reason why the law should be a certain way? Couldn't you just say it's immoral, but not say that it should be illegal?
It is immoral.
Well, yeah, you say that it's immoral, but again, just because something's immoral doesn't mean it should be illegal, right? You engage in sins. Should you be put in prison for your sins?
Yeah.
Yeah? You should be put in prison? So we should all put you in prison.
No.
Dude, you were like one of the first people on the live stream to almost advocate for your own imprisonment. That's crazy, bro.
I misspoke.
Really? You misspoke? That was your position for a second. I feel like you actively had to change your mind there.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I want to know your stance on abortion. So you're obviously for abortion, right?
Well, I'm pro-choice, yeah. I don't think that it's a person prior to the point of the fact that it would be considered sentient. Like, think of it this way. Do you think that it's murder to pull the plug on an individual in your family that's brain dead?
Do they have like an order that like before?
There's no particular order that they've made. Should the family? Do you think it's murder for the family to pull the plug on an individual in their family that becomes brain dead?
Not necessarily.
You don't think that's murder? Okay. So then,
No.
if you say that it's not murder because medical death happens when there's no sentient life, even though there's cellular life, well then why wouldn't you care about life as soon as medical life begins? Right, at the point of sentient life beginning, not cellular life beginning at conception. Because, like, again, I don't think that that's the basis for value that you would have.
So you don't believe life begins at conception?
No, I do believe cellular life begins at conception. I just don't think that we value cellular life. I think that we value sentient and medical life.
Well, I guess we disagree on that.
Well, I think you do too. I proved that. You don't care about just cellular life. If you just cared about cellular life, well, then you wouldn't say that someone, well, then you would say that specifically someone who has pulled the plug on an individual in their family that's brain dead is a murderer.
Well, the thing is that's a false equivalency. You can't compare the two.
I mean, why not? Because I'm talking about all I'm really saying is that it's the end of medical life, and you just don't care about it at that specific point to the same degree as like a person, in order to say that there would be like a right to life to maintain, right? Because it is the
Well,
case that right that's the point of death, right? For that we consider. So if that's the point of death in terms of the life that we value, well then wouldn't the life that we value begin at the point in which sentience begins as well?
sorry, can you repeat that?
Well, if the value for the life, specifically to the same degree in which we consider in personhood, ends at the point of sentient life, well, then wouldn't that also begin at the beginning of sentient life? Like we wouldn't like you obviously show that you don't care about specifically just cellular life. You care about sentient life, right?
Well, I think that cellular life is going to become sentient life. So it's not the same as pulling the plug.
Okay, well, you're saying it will become, but if you have an abortion, it will never,
Yeah, and I
right?
disagree with that.
What do you mean you disagree with that? If you have an abortion, there will never be sentient life.
Yes, and that should not happen.
What's wrong with that?
Because if it's going to become sentient life, because the thing, you're comparing two things that are not the same. People who are brain dead or people who are going to get the plug pulled on them, there's no way that they're ever going to become sentient life. And the thing is,
Yeah, if you have an abortion, there's no way there will ever be sentient life. So why is it valuable?
because there's actually a potential for that thing to become. There's no potential for something that's brain dead.
So, but it's just potential alone. I don't think we value just potential alone. You're going to value potential or future so long as there's a past or a present established. But why would you just value potential alone, right? Specifically over someone's bodily autonomy. I think someone's bodily autonomy and human rights, sentient humans' rights to bodily autonomy is significantly more valuable, right, than right like just cellular life, right?
Well, all right.
That has yet to ever be sentient, and if you have
Well,
an abortion, will never be sentient.
the thing is that there's so many contraceptives available to where if you're getting pregnant, I feel like that's just a failure on your part. Excluding rape and excluding incest, if you're getting pregnant with all the contraceptives that are available, you messed up. Do you agree with that?
I'm sorry, that's just not true, right? You understand that people specifically utilize contraceptives in the way that they are supposed to, and yet it still fails in certain circumstances. Contraception fails in some circumstances.
If you had to give me,
like
if you had to give
actually,
me
over 50% of abortions come from failed contraceptives. Did you know that?
if you had to give me a percentage of how many times contraceptives failed so they work, what would they be?
Over 50% of abortions come from failed contraceptives, according to the Guttmacher Institute.
Yeah, but that's when they're pregnant. That's not how contraceptives work.
What are you talking about? I'm confused. I said
I'm saying 50%.
51% of abortions are a result of failed contraceptives.
Yes, but you're not accounting for all pregnancies. I'm saying it.
What do you mean I'm not accounting for all pregnancies? What are you talking about? That this is an estimate on all pregnancies, specifically from the Guttmacher Institute.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. You're accounting for all the abortions. I'm accounting for a percentage of people who get pregnant. How many people get pregnant from failed birth control? You're accounting all the abortions. You're not accounting percentage of people getting pregnant, because that's the number I want to know. How many pregnant? My bad.
What is the percent of like contraceptives not working? Like,
Right.
What is the effectiveness? Well, it's effective. I mean, it depends on the specific form of contraceptive that you're using, and it depends on the type of birth control. But typically, it's like high 90%, right?
90% fail rate.
But you understand that like when there are so many people in our society that utilize it, if it happens to say like 1% of people, that's still millions of people, right? In our country. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Like, what's 1% of our country?
Over a million.
It's over
not
3
more.
million people, right? If it's over 3 million people, right? Just 1% of the country. That's a lot of people, right? So
Yeah.
that's pretty similar. Okay, so I mean that's pretty similar to like the point that we're talking to in terms of like abortions in this country, right? Because we're not talking about like everyone. It's not everyone getting an abortion, right? It's not happens every day, right?
Well, I think the problem with giving just free agency over abortions is that it doesn't help our country grow. And I think if you regulate abortion, you're going to make our country a lot more sexualized, a lot more perverted, and then you're also going to drive down the birth
Wait,
rate.
you think we'll become more perverted because of legal abortion access?
Of course,
How?
because if you're allowing freedom of like this sexual depravity, you're
Dude,
allowing
you
this
just
because
don't
there's
like
no
you
consequences.
just don't like to fuck, bro?
I mean, I'm a Christian. I don't believe in premarital.
Oh, okay. So you've just never done it premarital?
No.
Okay. Well, so then like why is that wrong for other people? Like I mean, I'm not Christian, right? You have your views, but like why do you have to enforce them upon me? If I want to have sex, what's wrong with me doing that before marriage? Who gives a, you don't even consider my marriage as valid because I'm not doing it under God anyway.
But because if you're allowing for abortion, then you're literally driving down the birth rate. So it's not my view. It's also just bad as a
Okay,
country.
if you're in terms of driving, so you want to force people to go through pregnancies to drive up the birth rate?
I think it's also morally
Well, no,
unacceptable.
that's
But
what you just
also
said. That's what
morally
you just said.
illegal.
You wanted to force people to go through pregnancies to drive up the birth rate.
Among other things, yes, it's a combination of reasons.
Wait, okay. Oh, I'm confused. I'm confused. You understand that you can incentivize people to have more kids, maybe by like making the system better so that people can afford to have more kids, rather than specifically like forcing people to go through pregnancies? Isn't that like incredibly dystopian and authoritarian for you to say that you want to force people against their will to do that? I mean, I have a question. Do you think that people should have been forced against their will to take the vaccine to save human lives?
No.
Okay. So freedom to not take the vaccine if you don't want to, but you should be forced to go through the context of pregnancy to save human life. So you're forced against your will to do one thing for human life, but not in the other circumstance.
Well, I mean, again, vaccines and abortions are not the same thing.
Yeah, you're restricting bodily autonomy to save human life, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you restrict bodily autonomy to save human life in one scenario, you're saying that's justified to do so. Why are you saying it's unjustified to do it in the other scenario?
Well, the vaccine was not like actually good. I don't agree with
The
the 2020.
vaccine wasn't good. What do you mean? There's a bibliography in my bio, a works cited page that has 30 plus pages of peer reviewed systematic reviews that indicate the effectiveness and safety of the COVID vaccines in particular, just the COVID vaccines. Okay, so the idea that it wasn't like good is actually absurd at this point. Like it's so absurd at this point.
All right.
Do you know how many vaccine doses we've given out around the world? You know how much data we have?
Let's hear it.
We've given out billions of doses around the world. Billions of doses. We have so much evidence. It's unbelievable. And you're just denying it. You know, if we're giving out billions of doses and it had like if the vaccine was extremely, extremely harmful, we would see a lot more cases of this being true than we do. Right? Like if there was like a 40% of people who took the vaccine were negatively impacted this way, that would be a huge portion of the American public. Did you know that? That'd be
Yeah.
hundreds of millions of people, right? Tens to 100 million people, like in the United States alone. Billions of people around the world. We would see this. Come on.
Parker, I'm going to acknowledge this. I'm out of my element. I think I've been up here for too long. I appreciate you
Okay.
giving me the time.
All right.
Um,
Appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, I gained a lot of respect for you. Can I say my goodbyes? Am I allowed to?
Sure.
I appreciate